Good morning. Welcome to an online event brought to you by Parkinson's Community Los Angeles. Today, we are so fortunate to have Ashley Perez and Crystal Hines from USC's Family Caregiver Support Center here to share their knowledge on navigating the ins and outs of applying for paid family leave with caregivers. I am Deborah Hockman, a PCLA member, Parkinson's advocate, and former care partner for my late husband for many years, including time caring for him as a paid caregiver. For those of you who don't know us, we are a nonprofit that supports families living with Parkinson's through free education programs like this one, support group meetings, social events, and more. Today's Strictly Business is brought to you by donations from people just like you in the Parkinson's community. If you appreciate what we do, please consider making a donation at www.pcla.org. If you have already donated, thank you. Your generosity and support helps us continue this very important work. Ashley Perez is an intake specialist at the USC Family Caregiver Support Center who majored in sociology. She has 8 years of professional experience in social services, assisting individuals with mental and physical disabilities by connecting them to community resources that will bring positive change to their quality of life. Crystal Hines is a people person who also majored in sociology. She has been serving the Los Angeles community for about 10 years and has received special recognition for her services in South Los Angeles, Newton area. Crystal's experience within the realms of family, homelessness, reentry, and senior services, along with her work as a case manager and job developer, make her a wealth of knowledge for information and resources in the LA County area. Please join me in welcoming Ashley and Crystal today.
Thank you, everyone. We're excited to be here and to provide this presentation for you all.
Yes, thank you so much. Hi, everyone, and thank you all for allowing us to cover some information on paid family leave for working family caregivers. Again, my name is Crystal Hines, and I will be hosting today's webinar along with my co-host, Ashley Perez, and we are intake specialists for the USC Family Caregiver Support Center, which is also known as the Los Angeles Caregiver Resource Center, or LACRC. These efforts are brought to you by the USC Family Caregiver Support Center in partnership with the AARP Foundation. Also, today we are going to hit a few highlights of paid family leave, including what exactly is paid family leave for caregivers, its eligibility requirements, how to apply, frequently asked questions, and then finish by covering with some resources and support.
So let's go and start with what is paid family leave. And paid family leave is a program administered by the Employment Development Department that provides up to 8 weeks of partial wage replacement per year while you take time off work to care for a seriously ill family member. And for the benefits of paid family leave, there is up to 8 weeks that you can receive for benefit payments, up to 8 weeks. And also the benefit payments are between 60 to 70% of your weekly wages earned 5 to 18 months before your claim start date. And yes, the maximum time is 8 weeks for this program. And you could use this time however you feel more appropriate for your situation. So you could either use 4 weeks, like for example, in the month of September, skip October, and then complete the other 4 weeks in November. So that's why it's called intermittent leave. You don't have to use all those 8 weeks at one time. You could distribute it within that year, however you feel more comfortable with your situation. And now let's go over who counts as a seriously ill family member, so who could receive paid family leave. So to care for a seriously ill parent, parent-in-law, child, grandparent, grandchild, sibling, spouse, or registered domestic partner counts as a family member to be able to use this paid family leave program. And so, of course, for caregiving, you as a caregiver, it could be with helping with paperwork or medical appointments, purchase weekly groceries, provide weekend supervision, and for paid family leave, even just visiting a family member for a few hours, that counts as caregiving. And of course, families provide support because of sudden health changes, or there is a limit in person's ability to care for themselves independently. So that's why caregivers can take time off work to help their family member do any activity that that family member can no longer do due to an illness. And what counts as a serious health condition to be eligible for paid family leave? So a serious or sudden health changes can include a emergency physical accident like broken bones, heart attack, or stroke, or also if your family member is recovering from a surgery, that counts as caregiving, and or it's just the health condition, or also any chronic health condition that has an impairment, illness, or injury that requires continuing treatment by a healthcare provider, which include dementia, cancer, chronic conditions such as epilepsy, COPD, or diabetes, or even Parkinson's disease. And I just want to note that unless issues arise, cosmetic treatments, the common cold, the flu, earaches, upset stomachs, minor ulcers, and non-migraine headaches do not qualify as a serious health condition.
Thank you, Ashley. So now going forward into understanding paid family leave versus disability insurance. And so we often hear about paying a portion of our income for our work wages to the California Disability Insurance Fund. And these funds are utilized as wage replacements through two separate programs. Paid family leave is for California caregivers to take a leave of absence from work to provide care to a seriously ill family member. And state disability insurance is for your own loss of wages during your own health condition episode or recovery from. And both of these wages are so like two separate halves of one fund of the disability insurance fund, and those are paid with your own employee contributions. So to be eligible for paid family leave, you have to, or a caregiver would of course need to be of caring for a qualifying ill family member, as Ashley addressed the specifics earlier to that, and then just as well have paid into that state disability insurance fund, which is oftentimes noted as California SDA on most paycheck stubs, and so have paid into that fund within the past 5 to 18 months of their employment or within the time span before filing the claim. And so then also, as well, have earned at least $300 from which those deductions were withheld, okay? So making sure that they've paid into the California State Disability Insurance Fund within the last 5 to 18 months and also have made $300 within that time. A quick note that I also want to make here is that citizenship and immigration status do not hinder anyone from applying to or qualifying for paid family leave. And so that is a good, strong highlight that we like to highlight, especially here with our California population. So that's definitely a benefit of paid family leave. Here is a paycheck stub, kind of a mock paycheck stub. And as you can see here, it's exemplified in the deductions box. As you can see, there's federal withholdings, some Medicare withholdings, California, and then you see there the highlighted California SDI. And there you can see that it's highlighted and taken out of Bob Johnson's pay stub there. So he is definitely paying towards it. And this you can see kind of noted on your own pay stub as well. And then we're going to go forward with how to apply. So there are multiple ways to apply for paid family leave. And the first way of how to apply is going, and probably the most common way of applying is through applying by the online website. And so you can go online to the EDD's website, and that's edd.gov.ca.gov, and you can sign in and apply for one of their benefits online accounts, their one-time benefits payments accounts. And you can go ahead and apply online, but one thing that you want to make sure that you do is that you record your receipt number or your confirmation number. And you want to make sure that you record that down so that in case you need to track your application or your claim, that you do have that number so that you can get in contact with customer service and be able to easily do that. Definitely want to comment that, since the pandemic, there's definitely been an influx in the number of applicants that they receive. So making sure to track your own paperwork is definitely beneficial. Also going forward, you can also apply by mail. So being able to apply by mail, that's simply calling into the 1-800 number, as you see here, the 1877 number listed here, and you can request a paper claim form be mailed to your address. They will mail out a paper claim form for paid family leave. You can have that completed. And just as well, you want to make sure that you record your claim number on there as well, and then send it back in the pre-addressed envelope, and the address is there as well. Now, please note that if someone, as mentioned before, is applying without a social security number, so is an undocumented citizen or of California and looking to apply for paid family leave, then it's best to apply by mail. Mail, of course, sometimes when we apply through online services, you do have like those required boxes where the tech will not allow you to pass through without, filling in those boxes. So it's good to make sure to try, if you're going to apply by mail so that you don't have that hiccup and you can still apply. You don't need to place any social security number on there and things can still be processed. So I'm wanting to make sure that I notate that. Into some frequently asked questions. Ashley will get us started with and covered with some frequently asked questions here.
Thank you, Crystal. So one of the frequently asked questions we receive is, does paid family leave provide job protection? And the answer, it does not provide job protection at this time. However, paid family leave provides, it's only a wage replacement program and does not protect your job. However, there is job protection for 12 weeks each year under the California Family Rights Act for unpaid caregiving. And in order to be use this California Family Rights Act, you must qualify. You must have worked for your employer for a year, have worked 1,250 hours in the 12 months before your leave began, and work for an employer with at least 5 employees. So this is different from paid family leave. So you'll have 8 weeks with paid family leave, and then with the same year, you have an additional 12 weeks. But for that one, it will be unpaid caregiving, but your job will be protected, and you must qualify for this act in order for your job to be protected. And now also, who does not qualify for paid family leave? So there are organizations or employers that do not automatically pay into the California State Disability Insurance Fund, and they might have their own paid leave program, but usually it's the government or federal workers, independent contractors, or self-employed freelance do not qualify for paid family leave. But if you're able to speak with your employer and find a way to pay into that California State Disability Insurance, then that's how you'll be able to be eligible for paid family leave. So it's best to speak to a human resources or a union representative to understand the paid leave rights at your job. And there are ways to opt into California State Disability Insurance Fund. So it's best to speak with the human resources. And then another question is, can I receive paid family leave while caring for a family member outside California and overseas? And it's yes, yes, you may. As long as you meet the paid family leave requirements. So again, you'll have to care for a qualifying ill family member and have paid into the California State Disability Insurance Fund. So you as a caregiver must live in California, and you could care for anyone outside California and the United States and still be receiving paid family leave. Now pass it back to Crystal and she could answer more frequently asked questions.
Thank you, Ashley. So the next question is, what if I provide care for more than one person? And I want to make sure that I emphasize and start by saying that you are definitely, and remember too, that you are definitely entitled to the maximum of 8 weeks. So that's about 2 months of paid family leave benefits per year. And that's regardless of how you break them up. So you would just need to submit separate applications for each qualifying ill family member. So this includes, again, that term that we just stated, intermittent leave. So meaning if you use 4 weeks of paid family leave to care for one seriously ill family member, you would still have your remaining 4 weeks available to care for another seriously ill family relative within the same year. So being able to break that up and utilize that would be at your own discretion and usage. And then going forward, our next question is, what if someone else cares for or provides care for a family member who is ill? And I want to answer that by saying that more than one person can apply for paid family leave. However, you can only receive payments for the days and hours that you are the primary caregiver. So making sure to be careful on and to organize with the other family member who's applying for paid family leave so as not to duplicate the days and the times on the claim sheets, right? So meaning that if I am providing care for instance, my mother, along with my sister, and we're both applying for paid family leave, then ensuring that if we're both going to be there on Monday, only I am, signing my claim sheets for, say, for instance, 9 through 11 a.m., and she's claiming whatever hours outside of that, because we want to make sure that we don't, just cross our claim forms and cause any confusion or anything like that for ourselves. So being sure to do that. But yes, more than one person can provide care for a family member. And then moving forward here with some information on resources and support. As we know, with the good times also comes the not so good times. So paid family leave is definitely a benefit, but sometimes there's some complications that come along with that. So on the screen here, you'll see information for 4 organizations. And so I'm going to introduce these, beginning with ourselves. Again, we are the USC Family Caregiver Support Center, and we're also known as the Los Angeles Caregiver Resource Center. And we provide direct support and consultations to family caregivers in the Los Angeles County area, including care option navigation and other community resources and referrals. So if you have any questions regarding your caregiving needs or navigation and understanding insurance, understanding local resources or options, then please feel free to contact us, as you can see here, through our 1-800 number, email address, our general email address, and then just as well our web address. And on our web address, you can contact us through our contact us page just as well. So moving forward, you'll notice next, you'll find the California Work and Family Coalition available to assist in informing the public on California work and family rights and help clarify questions of paid family leave eligibility and the application processes. They actually also have some really good resources if you need insight and a connection into EDD. So if you're looking for like, hey, I need somebody to get back to me, I have, just a very complicated situation, then I would definitely refer you to get in contact with the California Work and Family Coalition, as they assist really great on those things. So, and third, if any issues arise concerning your paid family leave rights, then you can contact the Legal Aid at Work Foundation for legal support. And then, of course, the Employment Development Department for any specific claim related questions or concerns. And you can screenshot this page or contact the USC Family Caregiver Support Center to request a PDF copy of these resources to be emailed to yourself. That's no problem. And so with all of that being said, this is all we have for you for now, but please feel free to reach out to us through our center's main line for any more information on paid family leave or Los Angeles Caregiver resources. Thank you. Have a great day. Thank you so much. Are there any questions or anything specific that we can answer in this time?
So one of the questions that we have is from Blair Lake, and she wants to know if you can use, I guess, the 8 weeks daily, or do you need to use it in 2-week sections? When I was on PFL, I was required to use it in 2-week increments.
Okay, so it can be up to, sometimes it's how your employer works using it just as well, or working with your manager, but you can definitely use it and break it up as you need to. So you can use it daily just for doctor's appointments if they allow you to, right? So after clarifying things, you can break it up and use it by days or weeks if you need to. And so it's at your benefit to do that as well. But yes, making sure that you communicate with your manager and human resources to get clearance as well. It just depends on how the policies and procedures for your human resources department.
So no increment requirement for the program itself. Any requirement on time increments would be with your own employer. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Blair also asked, at what point is someone required to file for paid family leave versus just using PTO or paid time off?
So that is actually something that we are going into right now, right? Just as advocates and trying to advocate for our caregivers in California is something that we're talking about now. About a lot of employers make a comment to you have to utilize, right, that paid time off, the vacation and sick time, 2 weeks of it before filing for paid family leave. And so California is doing a lot of great work of trying to make that not mandatory or not at the employer's discretion. And so at this moment, again, that's something that has to be discussed with your human resources department and is up to their approval.
I'm going to ask one that I came up with because you mentioned for job protection. There's the California Family Rights Act, which will give some protection for 3 months. And I'm wondering if somebody wants to pursue that, how they go about pursuing it and applying for that. And also, does the 3 months run after the paid family leave, or does it run concurrently?
Yeah, for paid family leave, use it goes based on the times you submit your timesheets for to use those 8 weeks. And then for the California Family Rights Act, you must have worked for an employer for 1 year, must have worked 1,250 hours, and you'll have to be working with an employer that has 5 or more employees. So to be eligible for the California Family Rights Act.
Patricia asked, does the exception of freelance or independent contractors apply to paid leave or with the job protection? And for job protection, I'm guessing she means the California Family Rights Act.
It's more of that people that are either freelance or independent contractors, if they don't pay into the California State Disability Insurance Fund, then they're not gonna be able to use paid family leave, because you'll have to pay into the California State Disability Insurance Fund to be eligible. So if that person is not applying, it does not pay into that, then she or he will not be eligible. And then for the job protection, you must have worked for an employer that has more than 5 employees. So if it's just yourself, it does not count to be eligible for the California Family Rights Act.
Okay, this is kind of
Yeah.
in the
I
same.
also
go
recommend
ahead.
for everyone that is of like government, or sometimes government have like, offer their own options for short-term disability or long-term disability insurance, but just as well for those that are independently or freelance employed, then to make sure to get in contact with and just reviewing those election in or opting in on payment options, because it is beneficial. And then always allow yourself to be turned away. Don't just say, oh, I don't qualify, but always allow yourself to make the effort and allow that application, because every situation is different. So being able to see what is eligible, some freelance and independent jobs or contract jobs may hold different requirements for different industries. So being able to check is always beneficial.
Okay, so Monica had a question along that very lines, which was, do you have to be a full-time annual salary employee? What about an actor who is an AEA union member who had a certain amount of weeks worked that are documented? How many weeks do you have to have had employment to be eligible for paid leave? We're talking about paid leave now there.
So now when we're talking about paid family leave, again, remember, right? You have to have worked and paid into so that's making sure that you check your pay stubs. Did we pay into the California SDI, California State Disability Insurance Fund, within the last 5 to 18 months before filing your claim? Whenever you file your claim, did we pay into that fund? And have you had a check of more than $300 or paid or worked and earned more than $300 to which you've paid from that wages? So making sure that you check your wages. If your industry is paying into that fund, then that's excellent. And so making sure that you check your pay stubs within the last 5 to 18 months. Have you paid within that fund? And if so, then yes, go ahead and move forward. If all those things are great and look good, then I would say yes, go ahead and move forward. And yes, you should be eligible.
This may have been covered. I had to jump up and handle something with the baby. Do we need to give some sort of like doctor's note or proof of some sort to either EDD or our employer to start the process?
So yes, go ahead, Ashley, you go ahead.
Yes, so you need to submit documents from your medical provider that states who are you caring for. Like, for example, if you had a baby, then you just have to say, you gave birth to your son or your daughter, and this is why you're applying for paid family leave, or even for a daughter or son that's caring for their elderly parent. They'll need to provide medical documents stating that yes, like for example, Blair takes care of her mom, that she's diagnosed with dementia, so she'll need to take time off work to care for her mother. So it's just any document from the doctor stating that they need to take time off work to help their sick family member.
And we give that to both the employer as well as to EDD, or
So it's for the document, you have to provide it to the EDD.
Got it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So when you apply, right, when we're applying for paid family leave, or you're expecting to take paid family leave, you organize and just kind of have a conversation with your employer. Hey, I'm going to go out on this day, and it can be right tomorrow, because emergencies happen like that. You need to provide care tomorrow. If you're eligible and you're eligible, then it can be as soon as that. And so the day after that you're off, like your first day, I believe it is, I want to say it is I want to make sure I'm right. So I believe it is the day after that you are that you take off, you're eligible to apply for paid family leave, and the claim goes in. What happens is EDD will reach out to whoever you list as the physician that's covering, whether it's yourself for your own insurance, right, and leave, or whether it's your family member. So whoever their attending physician is, then they will be sent a form from EDD, and of course they're going to know about it and be able to fill that out for you. And so it should be normally physicians are very familiar with this process, and it's not anything too hindering unless they're busy and kind of backed up, in which you can make a phone call and say, hey, I'm applying for paid family leave, please look out for that. Sometimes you can print out the form from the EDD website and just kind of send it in and say, hey, send it back to me, or send it to EDD directly with your receipt number, because that's needed on there. So making sure that you have that confirmation number, your claim number, you can have that on there as well and help them out.
Would I be able to use a third party instead of doing all the EDD stuff myself, or do I still do it, or would I have to work directly with EDD?
For
I
the
believe.
leave,
Go ahead.
you have to apply for EDD. So,
Okay.
but that's, I guess, up to you if you want that other company to submit that application for you, but it all has to go through EDD.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Patrice, thank you for waiting.
Sure. So my husband's the caregiver. I have Parkinson's, and he works for a company that's out of state, but he's been working as at home employee for quite a time, and then all of a sudden they started making him travel. So he's gone for 5 days a week 5 days a week, Sunday through Thursday, which is not normally when he used to work, but it takes him 9 hours to get there. So I'm just wondering if, being that they're an out of town or they're an out of state company, they're probably not going to cover it in California, right?
So it goes back to their pay stub and check to see
Yeah.
if their his work is paying into the California State Disability Fund, and that's how you'll know he'll be eligible for this program, because that's the only way to be eligible for this for the paid family leave.
Okay.
Mhm.
So Monica asked a question related to this, which is, not sure if the panel knows, but are there other states which have this process too? So again, it would be, let's say, does Washington, Oregon, whatever, have their own independent program that
For
would
paid
cover
family leave.
this? Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes. So a lot of states offer paid family leave. California is, catching up to some of the standards that are offered across the board. Actually, we look forward, hopefully, to next year increasing the amount. Right now, as Ashley stated, I believe it's 60 to 70, Ashley, right? Percent of paid family leave of your
60%
wages.
right now, yeah.
Yeah. And so hopefully coming up with some great advocacy efforts and things like that, we are increasing for all of our paid family. All of us will be caregivers at some point. So for all of us that are concerned, then definitely increasing to 90%. Looking forward to that, of your wages, being able to earn that. So yes.
Okay, and Patricia asked a follow-up question, which is, do you have a list of states with paid leave that can be checked? Or if you don't have it, what's the best place, if you know of it, for someone to check and see if the state that's relevant to them offers a comparable program?
We do not have that handy. We've been our focus is on kind of California's programs, but a good state, I mean, a good website to check is probably the federal websites and federal government website, just kind of to look at their paid family leave in general, and then see what states are offering that.
James asked a question similar to one I had in my head for a friend who's a caregiver. James asks, can I apply retroactively, specifically for a back surgery back in January 2023?
That is a good question. I would recommend that you do. If you have already taken off the time and did not take any paid time off, like vacation or sick time for that, then you should be able to file a claim and have that verified by your physician. You want to make sure that you apply within the same calendar year that you're in, right? So you don't want to lapse between the time that you've already passed. And I want to say that you want to make sure that you get in contact with the physician that attended to you before you apply, and then also make sure that you check with EDD on your eligibility, okay, that you don't have any days lapsed, because I believe for paid family leave, you may also have up to 45 days from returning. So you want to check for that as well.
Regarding the paid family leave, what roughly, I know things vary, but what's the time frame from when you apply to when you get a decision on whether on your application for the paid family leave?
That definitely varies for everyone. It depends on like employers' responses, physician responses, as well as your own processes. But normally I would, with EDD, it's very hard to say right now, and I wouldn't even feel comfortable to say at this point with EDD, wishing everyone well between, right, 4 to 8 weeks.
Okay, thank you. And everybody recognize Crystal's like going out on a limb here. Don't hold her to it. Thank you, Crystal. Well, I want to thank you all so much. This event was made possible by donors just like you. PCLA is a nonprofit, and all donations are tax deductible. If you enjoyed today's program, please visit PCLA.org and make your donation so that we can continue to provide free programming just like this. And if you've already donated, thank you. You can reach out to us with questions and requests at info@PCLA.org or call us at 310-880-3143. Thanks, everyone, and have a wonderful day. I don't know if you can read it, but this is PCLA's motto, and I believe in it. Thank you.